So step 5, keeping our processes in tune. I think this is a really interesting one because I've run across a lot of folks who do process projects, and it's almost like it's truly that project mentality. Well, a project has a beginning and an end, right? But processes never end. They just keep going and going and going. So when we do an improvement project, that's just the beginning before the process really starts doing the work. So of course we can get process measures to do reactive process tuning, so we can identify if backlogs start to occur or if bottlenecks develop in our processes or there's a sharp rise in processing time. But we can also do some other, what I would call active process tuning. If you use the step 1 and you actually had goals and you achieved a 30% cost reduction in a process, couldn't we monitor that? Sure we could. We could audit it, and through our auditing practice, we'll know how often we need to check it to make sure that we've actually retained that 30% cost reduction. Is 30% cost reduction a significant value to the business? Of course it is. Shouldn't we protect it? Of course we should. But processes will change over time. And there also may be other business KPIs that are linked to our process that we can measure as well. And the third thing, which is kind of just emerging, and we really haven't gotten our minds around this as well as we probably should, but is this idea of proactive process tuning. And basically what this talks about is if some pattern in the work that's being performed changes, we know something's changed around the process. So for example, if normally in a process we have a document-centric process and someone's scanning in a bunch of documents on the first step of the process, and maybe we have 3 documents scanned at the next step in the process on average per week, but that suddenly changes to 35 documents being scanned at the second step. Hasn't something changed in the process? Something that we should look into? So these kind of proactive measures tell us 2 things. They don't tell us what the problem is. They don't tell us what the fix is. They tell us that something has changed in our process, and they tell us where to look to go and see what has actually changed. And we may find that, lo and behold, a scanner isn't functioning at the proper level, and they're having to rescan documents because they're too dark. I couldn't read them. Well, that's doing it twice, right? We wouldn't want to do that. So there's lots of ways that we can actually use proactive measures to keep our processes in tune.